It's week 2 of the Creekside football season, and after a big 49-0 win out here at the Castle last week, the Knights look to prove they are the real deal against the Nease Panthers this week. Going up against a tough team coming off of a loss to Andrew Jackson, we're going to break down tonight's matchup, go into enemy territory, and talk with Nease's starting quarterback Marcus Stokes, and talk to 4 Creekside seniors who decided to come out for football for their senior year. All this and more coming up next on Creekside Gameday. Starting things off here with the matchup breakdown as Creekside hasn't lost a home game since October 30th, 2020. They look to keep the streak going tonight, but they do face one of their biggest threats of the season, the Nease Panthers. Coming off of a deep playoff run, they are a dangerous team and looking for a revenge game, as last year Creekside knocked them off in their home opener 37-21. And the keys for victory, well, it's going to start with limiting Nease's playmakers, specifically Devon Patterson, Gavin Miner, Samuel Milton, and all of this will make things harder on starting quarterback Marcus Stokes. This Nease team has not just one of the best quarterbacks in the state, but the nation under center, making it that much harder for this young Creekside team. However, they proved they could be dangerous with a 49-0 dominating victory over Vieira last week. Offensively, Creekside put up 37 on Nease last year, and they'll be facing nearly a completely new defense this season. Nease graduated 10 of their 11 starters and only returned one player, Sterling Grimes, who totaled at least 30 tackles. He happened to go much higher than that with 102, but as I mentioned, he's the only one who totaled 30. That's an issue for Nease. They gave up multiple deep pass plays last week. Don't be surprised if Creekside dials up a few shots offensively. However, this is a Creekside team that's going to make Nease force them to pass the ball. They're going to rely on the run. I mean, it's Creekside, and look at what Daniel Approbato and Nicky Williams did last week to Vieira. Dominant. Nease is run by a new defensive coordinator after Robert Garth exited for Arkansas State University in the offseason, and they'll work to rebound after giving up 30 to Andrew Jackson last week. As for Nease, offensively, they just want to play a clean football game this week. They had multiple turnovers last week, 2 fumbles and an interception. They just need to hold on to the ball. They got a talented offense, returning players such as Marcus Stokes, Sam Milton, Devon Patterson, as I mentioned earlier, all big-time playmakers. If they hold on to the ball, keep a good rhythm offensively, they should be fine. They'll also be looking to run the ball better, as last week only totaled 79 yards on the ground. They're going to have to improve that if they want to come out with a win in a tough environment like the Castle tonight. Now on to our next segment, where I go into enemy territory to chat with Nease starting quarterback Marcus Stokes. I'm not going to make you wait any longer. Let's hit it.
It's week 2, and as Creekside gets ready to face Nease, I am here at Nease to get the story on the other side. It's time to go into enemy territory. First up, you had mentioned to me at Media Day that Wilson Edwards was a pretty good friend of yours. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to you, and what's it going to be like going up against him this week?
Playing against him, on JV and freshman, that was fun. Pretty good competition between each other. I think it's going to be the same week. Wilson's a great quarterback. It's nice to be going up against some competition and, one of my good friends. So it's cool.
What did you learn from your last go-around against them?
Very, very tough team, very physical. Which is, it's good to have that on a team and a defense, probably one of the best defenses I've ever played against. They're very disciplined and very sound, so, it's going to be tough, but I think we'll be able to get it right.
Last week, tough loss to Andrew Jackson.
Yeah.
What are you going to have to improve on to come out with the W this week?
Really, we just got to do our job and stay sound to our plays. Alignment, assignment and adjustment. You know, got to be able to adjust to what the defense brings, and just got to do your job.
You know, the atmosphere at the Castle, known as one of the better ones in the area, how do you kind of block out the crowd and get in the zone?
Really, I just like to play loose. I don't really care about, I love getting involved with the crowd and all that stuff, after a touchdown or a big play. But, really, it don't really affect me. So we're going to be good in that area.
Appreciate Marcus taking the time to talk with me. And listen, you're going to see a lot of him tonight. And the Florida Gator commit is a big-time threat to Creekside's defense in tonight's matchup. Be interesting to see how that plays out. But now on to our next segment, where I talked to 4 Creekside seniors who decided to come out to play football for their senior years. Andrew Kelly, Ian Schultz, and Jay Boyer all back out to play football. Hampton Riedel played until his junior year, played freshman and sophomore, took junior year off, and is now back. All of them seeing playing time. Ian Schultz got an interception. Andrew Kelly with the touchdown reception last week. This is a great story, and I got to sit down with all of them. Here in our next segment, the seniors are out to play.
So what made you guys decide to come back to football this year? We'll start with you, Ian.
Probably just because, it's my senior year. My boys play, so, just wanted to give it one last ride.
For you guys?
I was thinking about it, and I had surgery on my mouth, actually. And Coach Spears, the safeties coach, he kept texting me. He was like, he wanted me to play, he wanted me to come out. And I was like, you know what, like, my friends are playing, I miss playing football, like, it's the most fun sport to play, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, I just thought I'd give it a try. One of the deciding factors was my friends playing and them encouraging me to just come play and have fun.
You two made big plays last week. You had the interception, Andrew had the touchdown catch. Walk us through those plays and how it felt.
Yeah, touchdown felt great, First one I actually scored. Just ran the corner route, beat the guy, caught the ball, it was in the end zone.
For me, there was just a timeout or an injury or something, and I remember Coach Pierce came up to me, he said, we're going to run match, like, this is where you get an interception, we're going to get an interception on match, like, this is it, and drop back in the match, which is cover 2, take the ball off, and yeah.
And then to get back into football and come out with a win in your first game, especially one of the bigger ones in Creekside football history, that had to be fun.
That was fun. We were just having a good time. I think that's what's good about our team is, like, we're all, like, we play for each other and nobody else. Like, we're not worried about all the other stuff that goes on. We know what we got to do. We're here to prove people wrong, so.
And I'm sure jumping back into football with a little break, y'all had to step up and prove yourselves in one way or another. Ian, can you talk a little bit about how you established yourself in the safety room?
Well, my first week was at team camp, and I was running with the second string that up there, and it was me and Brian, the safety that was starting that. We honestly became good friends at team camp. It wasn't like, it didn't feel like we were like fighting for each other's jobs, like we were splitting reps, and it felt good with that. And I had an interception at team camp, and that's when everyone was like, okay, like, he's all right.
Andrew, I wanted to ask you a little bit about how different sports, well, I'll ask all of you guys about this, but how other sports you play kind of help you out in football and vice versa.
Yeah, I would say tracking the ball in the air is, it is similar to baseball, except you just got to catch it with your hands instead of the glove. But I would say, yeah, tracking the ball in the air is very similar to catching a fly ball.
Hamp, you play basketball. I'm sure that helps out.
Yeah, kind of just on like the athletic standpoint, like being able to go get jump balls and kind of like move kind of like a basketball player, with like crossovers and things like that, different moves. So.
And Ian, you play basketball and lacrosse. Lacrosse, I do not know much about, but it seems a little similar to football in ways.
Being on the field and stuff, like agility moves, stuff like that, you're gonna do the same stuff in lacrosse. But similar to basketball, it's like, playing it as DB, you're high pointing the ball, which is the same thing as getting a rebound, boxing people out, stuff like that.
With basketball, it helps me with my lateral quickness and moving side to side fast, and I'm able to change directions pretty fast.
And Hampton, what would your advice be to anyone thinking about, trying another sport in high school?
Do it. It's fun. You only play high school sports once, so might as well do it.
Don't take it too serious. Learn to have some fun and play for your enjoyment instead of looking at it as a job.
So there it is, all four coming out, having some fun this year. And their advice to other high schoolers thinking about trying a new sport, do it. It's fun. Last but not least, to round things out with my matchup prediction, I think it's going to be a fun night. I think it's going to be loud. I think it is going to be an offensive shootout. Creekside ends up with the win up there on that scoreboard, 31-28. Listen, you don't want to miss tonight's matchup. A nice little rivalry between Creekside and Nease. And I think it's going to be a great matchup here at the Castle. So be sure to show up or tune in on NFHS Network. Kickoffs at 7 o'clock here at the Castle. So I hope to see you here tonight. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you here next week on Creekside Game Day.